Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Gaura, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna.
Go Prabhupada and the deities today. We went to Toowoomba, meet the Brahmacharis and Charan Naravindam Prabhu for Rath Yatra. Distributed a total of 144 transcendental books with a total of 740 Lakshmi points. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Mando Muit Savadana Mate. Mando Muit Savadana Mate. Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhava Toriya Jai. Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoyte. Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoyte. Guru Mukha Padma Vaikya Chitete Koriya Aikya. Ana Koriyo Mane Asha. Koriyo Mane Asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttama Gati. Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttama Gati. Je prasare pure sarva asha. Jakudan dilo de jamme jamme Prabhu se Jakudan dilo de jamme jamme Prabhu se Divya gyan nire prakasito Nire prakasito Prema bhakti jaite abhijave nasarate Prema bhakti jaite abhijave nasarate Gahe jahara charito Mere gahe jahara charito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Karuna Sindhu Adamadnara Bandhu Lokena Lokera Divana Lokena Lokera Divana Prabhu kore doya de o more parachaya Prabhu kore doya de o more parachaya Eve jata gusu bhuvana Eve jata gusu Pati Papavana Srila Prabhupada Pati Papavana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ke Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivesesa Sunyavadi Vaschacha Desatarine Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura, Haribo. Jaya, Jaya, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya, Jaya, Prabhupada.
me manasya virasam kimanyai idam te vapurnatva gopalabalam idam te mukham bhajam atyanta nilar
To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter, and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of his mother, Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind her, who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances.
And the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines of a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, whose belly is not bound with ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
He is drowning in the inhabitants of Gokul in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by the devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times.
Nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish this form of yours, as baby Gopala in Vrindavan, may ever be manifest in my heart, for what is the use of me to any other boon besides this?
O Lord, the devoted baby is encircled by walks of
again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
And made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby, tied with a rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
Effulgent rope, which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord who displays unlimited pastimes.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Close that door. Close that door. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha tajjoshanadashvapavarga vartmani shradharati bhakti Tiranu-kramishyati Satam prasangan mama virya samvidho Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha Tajjoshanadasvapavarga vartmani Shradharatir bhaktir anukramishyati. Ladies. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido Ritkarna rasayana kata Tajjoshanadashva bhavarga vatmani Shadarati bhakti anukramishyati.
Satam prasangam vamavirya samvido bhavanti hritkana rasayana kata tajjoshana dashpapavargavatmani Shadarati bhaktir anukramishati satam of pure devotees, prasangat, through the association, mama, my, virya, wonderful activities, samvidha, by discussion of, bhavanti, become, rit, to the heart, karna, to the ear, rasa ayana, pleasing, kata, the stories, tat, of that, joshanat, by cultivation, ashu, quickly, apavarga, of liberation, vatmani, on the path, shraddha, firm faith, rati, attraction, bhakti, devotion, anukramishyati, will follow in order. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. Please repeat. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. One must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees, because without the association of devotees, one cannot understand the activities of the Lord. Generally, people are convinced of the impersonal feature of the Absolute Truth. Because they do not associate with devotees, they cannot understand that the Absolute Truth can be a person and have personal activities. This is a very difficult subject matter, and unless one has personal understanding of the Absolute Truth, there is no meaning to devotion. Service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. Service must be offered to a person. Non-devotees cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature wherein the activities of the Lord are described. They think that these activities are fictional, manufactured stories, because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper mood. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one has to seek the association of devotees. And by such association, when one contemplates and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open and he is freed. one who has firm faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes fixed, and his attraction for association with the Lord and the devotees increases. Association with devotees means association with the Lord. The devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord, and then, being situated in the transcendental position of devotional service, he gradually becomes perfect. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So this word here is given anukramishyati, anukram. And Prabhupada translate to follow in order. Follow in order, like sequentially, one after another. First this, then this, then this, then this. Anukram, to follow in order, step by step. And here, this verse, a very, very famous verse, first of all. I mean, certainly very well known and very much loved by the Acharyas. And Srila Prabhupada quoted this verse many, many times. He liked to quote it in initiation lectures about just this first line, how it's very pleasing to hear about Krishna and the association of devotees. In the association of devotees, we feel that change of heart, we feel enthusiasm, we feel that, compared to, as Prabhupada says here, very little advancement can be done just by, personally reading Srimad Bhagavatam alone or something like that. Very not appreciable advancement. So this verse is also more or less summarized. The similar point is summarized in Bhagavad Gita 1854. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatmana Kankshati Nasoshati Samasaveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. That this point that first of all comes liberation. One has to be freed from the three modes of material nature, freed from the extreme desire or any desire for material achievements, and only then can real devotional service happen. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma, Kangshatina, give up lamentation, give up hankering lamentation. Samasavasha Buddha, she sees everything as equal because they're not interested in anything in the material world anymore. Mad Bhakti, my Bhakti, Labate Param, Krishna says, his bhakti can be attained in that way. And a similar point is given here in a bit more expanded form. And so what is this word apavarga, liberation? And Prabhupada explains this many times, but there's, in Sanskrit, if anybody studied Sanskrit even a little bit, it's very, very, very scientific language. English is a very sort of cobbled together language from so many different places, here, there, and everywhere, and it's all sort of put together, and there's so many, silent letters and all kinds of things that are very unscientific. But Sanskrit is very, very scientific. And even the way that the letters are formed, they're formed, the first letter is ka, which is just like an a sound, but you put ka, and then the next one is aspirated, so it's ka. And then when you go ka, ka, you make a little sound. Well, if you make a sound while you go ka, it becomes ga. Same part of the throat, ka, but ga. And then you aspirate that, becomes ga. So like that. And then you just take that further back into the palate, and all the different vargas are made like that, very scientifically. So there's one varga, which is pa varga, which is one that starts with pa. So it's pa, pa, ba, bha. Same thing. Pa. If you take a p sound and you add some sound, you add some vocalization to it, you get ba, right? Pa, and then same pa, pa, but with a ba, ba, you're making a sound. So the same, same system is given here. So anyway, this is given as the pa varga. Vargas means those lines of syllables in Sanskrit. And so the pa varga is pa, pa, ba, bha, and then ma. And this is like Sanskrit's very sort of code, like it's in code. It's very like so much meaning in like one word or one syllable even. So Prabhupada explains this. Pa means parishrama or hard labor. Pa means foaming at the mouth. Just like sometimes you see the horses, even when they're running in the races nowadays, but especially when the horses used to work a lot, they would actually foam at the mouth due to so much work. And then ba means vyartata, or frustration. So you're working very hard, so much you're foaming at the mouth, but then you're frustrated because you can't achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And then what happens? Ba means fearfulness. I'm working so hard, I can't achieve what I want to do. Then fear, oh God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to me? And then mrityu, ma, death finally. So this is bhavarga. Working so hard, foaming at the mouth, getting frustrated, being very fearful, and then finally dying. Doesn't sound like much fun. But this is the Vedic description of the material world, essentially. So apavarga means not doing that process, not being on that process of just working so hard, getting so frustrated, trying to achieve something, not being able to achieve it, then finally dying. Apavarga. So this concept that apavarga, or the liberation from all these material entanglements and material things, the concept that this comes first and then bhakti happens after, this is a very common thing is given in the scriptures. And in fact, Haridas Thakur, the Namacharya, was explaining this same point in the association of Govardhana and Hiranya Majumdar, the father and uncle of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Of course, well before that. So in that in that assembly, and of course we know later on, Lord Chaitanya described them as kind of friends of Vaishnavas. He kind of, when Raghunath Das became really serious, and he went to Puri, and he was just, and he actually gave up even accepting money from his father. Then Lord Chaitanya said, "This is actually very good, because your father and your uncle, they're kind of like friends of Vaishnavas." So we can see, what an exalted association it was. This was, they were sort of, but in a very friendly way. Of course, Lord Chaitanya very much appreciated them, and Haridas Thakur especially appreciated them. So they were devotees, but still that little interesting thing is given there. But back here, back before, this is well before that, they were great patrons of the Vaishnavas, obviously. So Haridas Thakur would go there, and they would have discussions on Srimad Bhagavatam, and Haridas Thakur was there, and there were all these different pundits saying that you have to perform great austerities, and you have to chant this Vedic mantras and thing, and then finally you get liberation. And Haridas Thakur, he's basically said, well, look, that's all very well, that's all true, that's all in the Vedas, but especially in Kali Yuga, just by chanting the holy name you can achieve all that perfection, right? We know that verse. Kali doshanide rajan astiheka mahadgunan kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha parambrajet. That you can attain the highest destination, mukta sangha, you can get all liberation just by the holy name. And Haridas Thakur explained that actually this idea of liberation, it's kind of a secondary thing. Everyone in the assembly was like, wow, liberation, wow, getting freed, merging into Brahman, getting free from all material. It was being held up as the great goal. Of course, we know Lord Chaitanya himself said that had that saying, prema pumato mahan, the fifth goal. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Okay, fine. They're the goals of the Vedas. But beyond that is prema, love of God. Love of God is the actual goal of the Vedic path. That's the final goal. So Haridas Thakur said this. He said that you can get liberation just by the first glint, just by the first glimmer of the holy name. Just like in the morning before the sun comes up, there's already some light that comes. And when that light comes, then all the thieves and rogues and all the bad elements disappear. And then finally the sun fully rises and people come out and do their activities. So he said that first glimmer of the holy name, that is called Nama Abbas. Abbas means like just the glimmer. He said even that gives liberation. And there was one very handsome and young scholar there who was a little bit proud, maybe a big bit proud of his youth and scholarship and understanding. And he challenged Haridas Thakur in the assembly of all these great souls and called him a sentimentalist. He said, you're a sentimentalist, you're saying all these things. Actually, you have to do so many things to attain liberation. And of course, there was a great tumult. Everyone was like, oh, how can you say that about Haridas Thakur? And Govardhana Majumdar and Hiranya Majumdar immediately sacked him from their, not sacked him, but immediately threw him out of the assembly. Take this guy immediately. Everyone was so horrified. See how scared they were, Vaishnava Aparat, right? He said one thing, and they're like, get this guy out of here immediately. We can't hear another, we don't hear another word that comes out of this guy's mouth. They were so scared of Vaishnava Aparat. And they all went to Haridas said, please forgive us. In our assembly, you've been offended like this. And Haridas Thakur was like, nothing, doesn't matter. It's all fine. He said he's a little bit enthusiastic, that's fine. He didn't take it seriously at all. But we won't go into the whole details, but there was a very severe and swift reaction came to this Gopal Chakravarti. So this is the glory of bhakti, is that it's beyond liberation. And again we're hearing this, that devotional service is beyond the modes of nature. It's beyond liberation. It is outside the material world. What is that verse? Krishna atasri Krishna namadi na bhaved grayam indriye. Grayam, you can't grasp it with your indriyas. Seven mukha jivada, you have to do devotional service. Swayameva svartada, and then only Krishna in His holy name can manifest. So here, Srila Prabhupada is saying, further in the purport, we'll read some more of this purport. Prabhupada says, one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. The devotees are like mirrors to us. They mirror back to us the state of our consciousness. I remember many years ago, I'm pretty sure it was Ajita Prabhu was saying the point that, the associated devotees is different to other religions because in one sense it's the same, we're all worshipping God, but when the religion becomes very rigid and formulaic and people have certain, roles and everything like that, then it's like, oh, he's the such and such and he said that, or she's the what, it becomes very like, it becomes sort of rigid. But he's making the point that actually devotional service, the associated devotees, is based on consciousness. And devotees understand that. Like devotees can understand when our consciousness is, focused on Krishna, we have a service attitude, we want to try to serve Krishna, we want to try to make advancement, devotees pick up on that and they reflect back to it, they encourage us. And if we start to, which can happen, we start to get a bit proud or a bit illusioned things, then we can see the devotees are kind of like they don't appreciate without even saying anything. So the associated devotees, how can we make advancement, without the associated devotees? We know that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes a lot of descriptions about all the different demons and all the different things that happen in Krishna Leela, and he talks about the different anartas that happen there. And he describes there that all those pastimes where Balaram killed the demon, they were the anartas that only the Guru can take out. You can't take out yourself. Right? There's a Pralambasura, that's the pride of thinking, and what was that one, the guy who pretended he was a devotee, pretended he was one of the cowherd boys? What's that demon's name? Oh, that's Pralamba, is it? I was thinking of, what's the other? Oh, Danika, I was thinking of Danika. So Danika, they were both killed by Balaram. But Pralambasura, he was pretending to be a devotee, pretend to be one of the cowherd boys, right? And Balaram killed him. So that's the thing, that only the Guru, and to some, that all the devotees are our Gurus, right? They're the external manifestation of Krishna. That's what Guru is. It's the one that explains Krishna to us, the other devotees. Things like pride, we can't overcome that ourselves. Because what is pride? Pride is thinking that I'm really kind of getting there now. Yeah, I'm really kind of advancing. I'm really, that pride, it seems like nectar. Right? What is that? Manasiksha Raghunath Das Goswami, what he describes as that pride. We we're bathing in this horrible substance. I won't even say what he says. The donkey urine, he says. All right, we'll say it. He says we're bathing in this donkey urine, and we think it's beautiful, it's so wonderful. What is that donkey urine? That's the pride. That's pride, thinking that we've become something with this and that. But only the devotees, only the Guru can help us with that. Right? We can't, on our own, it's impossible because it seems so nice to us. It's just like, oh wow, yes, I'm bathing in, it's wonderful, so warm. All right, I won't go any further. So this is, the association of devotees is essential, right? Prabhupada's saying. And Prabhupada says it very nice. Simply by theoretical knowledge, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. There's some advancement, of course, with chanting, whatever. But without association, appreciable advancement doesn't happen, right? So here we can see this word again. I bring out this word is given anukrama. Anukrama, right? Isn't that one word of Vamana? He's called what's his name? Something krama. Urukrama, right? Krama means a step, right? So we see the same word. Urukrama, sometimes Trivikrama, Mahakrama, so many kramas, right? The Trivika, 3 steps, but so krama means a step. Is that right? Krama means a step, and so kramisyati means stepwise, like step by step by step by step. So this word is given, and this word is actually the same word is used by Rupa Goswami in describing the process of devotional service. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sango, etc., etc. He says that in the beginning there's faith, association with devotees, initiation by spiritual master, executing regular principles, then becoming freed, anatta nivritti, becoming fixed in devotional service, not wavering, fixed. Then one develops taste and attachment. This is the way of sadhana bhakti, execution of devotional service according to regulated principles. And then gradually emotions intensify, and finally there's an awakening of love. It's just interesting when I was reading this morning that when Srila Prabhupada translates this, you can see that from Shraddha up to Ashakti, from faith up to an awakening of love, he's calling it, Ashakti. He's saying this is the gradual development, this is the, yes, Ashakti, attachment, attachment. So from faith up to attachment, he's saying this is the way of sadhana bhakti, the execution of devotional service according to the regulated principles. So he gives all of those, they are sadhana. And then he says, gradually emotions intensify, and then there's love of God. So this is bhava, emotions intensifying, and then prema, divine love. This is a gradual development of love of Godhead. So interesting that these words are given. And I'll just read the last. Sanskrit is pradurbhave bhavet krama, the same word, krama, this step-by-step process. Sadhana bhakti, this is the way of gradual development, or step-by-step development, krama. And we know that acharyas give us 3 types of perfection. There's nitya siddha krishna. Start saying that verse without even thinking. Nitya siddha, kripa siddha, and sadhana siddha. 3 types of perfection. Nitya siddha is the ones who are always perfect. Mother Yashoda. Nanda Maharaj, Prabhupada gives these examples, Krishna's mother and father. They're never involved in the material world. They're all completely perfect. Even though they're jivas, but still they're completely perfect. Nitya siddha. Then kripa siddha, by mercy one attains perfection, and then sadhana siddha, by that sadhana, by that process, by that step-by-step process. The example of nitya, of kripa siddha, is like Nityananda and Jagai Madai. But we should also note that they gave up all their simple activities and said, okay, we're going to become devotees. It wasn't just for no reason all of a sudden, no. He wanted to show his mercy, but that's the example of Kripa Siddha. The Prabhupada also talks sometimes that Kripa Siddha is a bit like getting an honorary degree. Sometimes we see, people do great work in some field, whether it's, literature or arts or something. And then they're given an honorary degree from Harvard or something like that. Honorary degree. Like you exemplify what, the life of someone who has this degree, whatever it is, and they just give it. But nobody starts out in life thinking that, how am I going to get a law degree, or I'll just try to, do something over here, and then maybe in 40 years they'll give me an honorary degree, right? Very, very rare. It's not a process, right? It's just like, it might happen. It might, very much. How many people get honorary degrees compared to how many just actually go through the process? So that's the thing, right? Sadhana is the process. Sadhana Siddhi is a process. You start here, krama, step 1, step 2, step 3. If you follow that, you'll get there. There's no doubt. Just keep following, right? That's the step by step. You'll get there, right? That's the process. Kripa Siddha is like the honorary degree, right? So sadhanas are the only chance. It's the only way, the only way, the only way. There's no other way. Srila Prabhupada gave 4 regs and 16 rounds, minimum sadhana to make appreciable advancement. And why 16 rounds? He didn't get, there's so many other activities we do in devotional service, isn't it? So many activities we do, and Prabhupada could have said, you have to at least do 2 artis a week. He could have said, you have to at least do this or do that. So many things he could have said. But he said 16 rounds. Japa. He's talking about japa, right? And he said, for the 4 regs. So these things, if you do these things, if you do the 4 simple activities, there's no chance of advancement. You're totally covered. So you have to do that. And then as far as the positive, you have to chant 16 rounds. That's what he gave. Initiation, that's the vow. That's the vow. So we can see, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said that we should regularly judge. We should regularly take stock. It's like the business person takes stock take, right? He said we should take every Kodasi, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said. Every Kodasi we should take stock and see how our practice is going. Are we increasing? Are we improving? Is the quality, is the quantity improving, increasing? And this is, we should do that according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Every Kodasi, we can see how is our taste for japa going. How's our taste for the holy name going? Now it's wonderful if we have taste for doing deity worship, and we have taste for reading, we have taste for kirtan. In the kirtan, everything's wonderful, and there's so much music and dancing, everything like that. But we can test ourselves by the japa, right? We can test ourselves by the japa. When we take away all the music, we take all away the dancing, we take away all the lights, we just have the holy name, right? And that's why japa is so essential. Prabhupada gave that. That is the essence. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said we should regularly look. How are we going? How's our taste for the holy name? Means how's our taste for japa? Because japa is just the holy name. Nothing else. There's nothing else there. It's just the name of Krishna, right? So if we have taste for so many other things in devotional service, but we don't have taste for japa, then we should think about that and try to develop that taste. Because japa just means just the holy name. There's nothing else. I mean, it's not that enjoyable to move some beads around in your hand. It's not so like, there's some sensory engagement, but it's not much. But really it's essentially the holy name. It's the name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya performed japa. He recommended it to his followers because it's the personal connection to Krishna directly through his holy name. And that's that is really the foundation of our sadhana, because Harinam, Harinam Eva Kevalam. And Prabhupada gave it as that's the foundation. That's what you have to, everything else can go by the wayside. But that is like non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. He said, if you want to take initiation from me, you have to promise one thing. Don't do all the simple stuff and chant your rounds. This the only thing he asked, isn't it, Prabhu? At initiation. So many other details, of course, are there, but that's like the foundational thing. And, of course. So keep going here on the purport. Why does one need the association of devotees? And Prabhupada brings out the point about the impersonal feature. He says, generally people are convinced of that impersonal feature of the Absolute Truth. Because they do not associate with devotees, they cannot understand that the Absolute Truth can be a person and can have personal activities. So we only hear this in the association of devotees. The general understanding of spirituality is that it's something opposite to material things. Material things is variety and interaction and relationship, so spirituality must be opposite to that. No varieties, no relationship, no love, nothing. That's spiritual. This is a very immature understanding according to the Bhakti Shastra, because there is personality, there is variety, there is love in the spiritual world, in the perfect reality, in the perfect person, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And even with our logic, we can understand that if we all have personality, how can it be that our source has less attributes than its product? How can it be that if the pot is very artistic and beautiful, how can we know that the potter, or how can we think that the potter has no artistic sense? It makes no sense. If the pot has artistry and artistic qualities, the potter must have some idea of artistry, must have some artistic qualities to create artistic qualities in the pot. If every part of the Lord's creation has personality and interaction, relationship, the Lord must, the source must have personality relationship. Otherwise, how is it existing in the product of the Supreme? So Prabhupada says, to finish, unless one has personal understanding of the Absolute Truth, there's no meaning to devotion, right? So we know there's many translations of Bhagavad Gita that leave out the idea of bhakti, that don't make it prominent. But actually, if we read Bhagavad Gita, just simply read the Sanskrit, the word bhakti is mentioned again and again and again, right? That verse we just read. Brahma Bhutta Prasanna Mad Bhaktim Labate Param Bhakti Mama Bijanati, right? Mam Cha Yovya Bicharana Bhakti Yogena Sevate. Continually Krishna is saying this word bhakti. It's a very, very difficult sort of, what do you call it, eating around the side like this with your hand. Very difficult process to try to actually explain Bhagavad Gita without reference to bhakti. But Prabhupada's making the point here that bhakti or devotion can only be offered to a person. It cannot be offered to something impersonal. It just cannot be. It's a devotion, it's a personal offering. An offering of love can only be to a person. You can love your car or something, but this is not in the same category. So this is, Prabhupada finishes the purport with this: service must be offered to a person. Okay. All right, so I think I'll stop there. Still have 10 minutes for questions or comments, if there's any, from the senior devotees.
You were saying before about how the artistry, doesn't need, how the creator can create us but not have artistry, but we have artistry, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be like, if I plant a seed, I don't need to know how to create a plant or whatever. I just need to know how to put that seed in the ground.
Yeah, but somebody knows, where did that seed come from?
Yeah,
you didn't. Exactly.
Yeah,
so you're not creating that seed.
No.
But that seed has the qualities of the plant. So it's the same.
But is it like Krishna is just creating us as a seed and then we grow our...
We have our free will. We have our free will, definitely, within it, for sure. Yeah. And we all have our individual relationship with God, Krishna. Yeah. But in the same example as there, all the qualities of the tree are in the seed.
Yeah.
If you plant a neem tree, you're not going to get sweet mango. You're going to get bitter neem leaves from it. So the qualities are there. In the same way the potter has that artistic sense, the pots do, you can see. And you can see if you go and see some artwork or something and it's not really artistic, you're kind of like, oh, you know, everybody judges the artist. And so the artist is very artistic, amazing, whether it's pottery or music or any kind of arts. It exists in the performer, the creator, and then you can see it in the things. On the same way, you know, if we see personality everywhere in the creation. So if we have a spiritual philosophy that says that, oh, there's no personality in the source of all of this, then it's illogical. Anything else?
Thank you, Prabhu, for the class. You're speaking about the different types of bhakti, and sadhana bhakti, kripa bhakti, siddha bhakti. And then you said the essence of the sadhana bhakti is the holy name and taste for the holy name. We should be developing our taste. What's that supposed to look like? Because it feels like if you had a taste for the holy name, you'd be chanting more, but it's not like we're encouraged to kind of chant more. You know, over time, it's not been given like a prescribed, like you should increase your.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah. All the acharyas say that.
Okay.
100%.
So that's what's supposed to be happening.
100%. You want to say? Minimum 16. Yeah. There's one. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, exactly. And definitely, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur literally says, the reason we count the number of rounds is so that we're always increasing. We're never decreasing. That's his rationale. That's why we chant the rounds. So we're meant to increase. There was one interview with His Holiness Kadamba Swami, and he was saying that, you know, he said, he's talking about when he's on his own, he does sadhana. He said, usually I'll do 32. He said, because 16, sometimes it's just not enough. You know, it's like we're definitely encouraged to kirtaniya sadahari, always be chanting. Of course, in the beginning, we don't have much taste. And that's why Prabhupada gives us that 16 rounds. I think Gargamuni Prabhu in the beginning said to Prabhupada, you know, Prabhupada, you're saying we should bow down to the Guru, but I don't feel it. So I feel like I don't want to be hypocritical by bowing down to the Guru, and I want to wait till I have that real feeling and do it with sincerity. Prabhupada said, no. He says, sadhana means you do it, and then you'll get the feeling. So that's chanting. If you chant 16 rounds, you can't chant 16 rounds for, 5, 10, 20 years, 30 years, and not get a taste. Unless you're doing offenses, but that's the exception. But just the chanting, just hearing that, it purifies the heart. What is that? Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte. By hearing chanting, it purifies the heart. So in the beginning, there's not that much taste, but that's why we have the prescription. We just get it done somehow. Try to gradually. But if we continue, then some taste will come. But it's in proportion to, our previous, yeshon pantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. According to, the simple reactions, just cloud the holy name and that take it hard to kind of break out. But there's no reason we can't get a lot of taste straight away. But my point is we should be checking the taste in our japa. That's my point. We should have taste for going on Harinam and chanting in the temple, definitely, 100%. Especially that's sharing to others, the taste to preaching, helping others, that's 100%. But also we should check that we're getting taste for japa, which is just the holy name itself, that we can check. And there was one seminar. Is there any other question, or I can just pretty much rave on here for the next 4 minutes? No questions, all right? There was one seminar given by Ravindra Swarup Prabhu back in, I don't know when, early 90s maybe, but you can look it up. But he said, why do people, the question comes is like, why am I so enthusiastic in the beginning? And then gradually I become kind of like, they're just this, the Haris are this, and it just becomes all kind of like blasé. And he said the reason is this exact thing that Haridas Thakur was saying to Gopal Chakravarti, is that liberation comes very easily if you just chant innocently, if you just chant the holy name. Liberation becomes, he's saying, just a faint glimmer of the holy name gives liberation. So there's three kinds of chanting, right? We know there's offensive chanting where it's just like you're just basically just committing offenses and you're really against Krishna, all this stuff. Then there's the clearing stage where it's like, oh, I have some faith, yeah, I want to be that. But you're just beginning, and then there's the pure stage. So as soon as you come to that clearing stage, you get liberation. So how nice is that? Isn't it? Isn't it such a nice feeling? Like when you have some disease in your toe, you stub your toe or something, and you go to the doctor, they fix it. Oh, or you're sick, and you get better. Oh, liberated from that. It's such a nice feeling. So we all feel that when we chant. So in the beginning, we're doing that. We're getting liberation very immediately. Then we start to take it casually. We start to be offensive, but we start to not really care for our practice. We actually slip down to offensive chanting. And what happens? The liberation goes. The feeling of freedom from material, freedom from things, it goes away. But he was saying it can immediately come back. Like just one day, just say, all right, tomorrow I'm just going to come and sit and just chant japa for 2 hours. I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm not going to do whatever. I'm not going to be, what's the mother of all offenses? Inattentive. I'm not going to be inattentive. I'm just going to sit and just hear this mantra. I'm just going to ask my dear mind to just go and sit over in the corner. That's okay. I'll deal with all this stuff later. But let me just chant this mantra for 2 hours. You do that one day, you'll feel liberated. You'll feel so happy. Right? So that's the first stage. If we keep that, we very quickly can get to actually having a taste. Because that taste is just the enjoyment of liberation. But then the real thing, this is Lord Chaitanya is telling us, beyond Dharmartha Moksha is actually taste for loving Krishna, taste for devotional service, the positive spiritual engagement. So it can come very quickly. And then we can see when we have that, then we like to chant more. 16 rounds. Oh, I'm going somewhere, I have some time. Oh, I'll chant some more, because it's nice. In the beginning, it's like 16 rounds. Oh my God, done for another day. All right, God, I've got 10 hours to just do whatever my mind tells me. Few people are laughing, so maybe somebody else also relates to that. But then when you start to get a bit of a taste, then it's like, like Kadamakana Swami is like, 16 is not enough. I need 32 just to feel like, so.
I was reading last night and they said that for someone to just sit in like a solitary place and chant japa, to worship the Lord silently, that's actually for non-devotees and atheists, but to actually the pure devotees go out there and preach. So how does that relate? Because if someone would have a taste, then they would be, just chanting all the time.
Well, we see that in the case of Haras Thakur. When he had a taste, he had such a taste, he was an amacharya, that he wanted to go and share it with everyone. Right? He said that to the prostitute that was sent by Ramchandra Kant. After 3 days, and she gave up everything and became a devotee, she revealed to him, and he said, don't worry, I know everything. He said, in fact, I knew about this beforehand, and I was going to leave. The only reason I stayed was to deliver you. That's the only reason I stayed, he said that to her. So he went, him and Nityananda, they would go around all Nadia, please chant, begging, and, Nadia Godruma, Nityananda Mahajampati, all those verses. See, if somebody is advancing spiritually and the response to that advancement is to just withdraw and not care about other people, that's not bhakti. That's the impersonal path. That's the Buddhist path. Becoming nothing, becoming alone. But the bhakti path, when someone is advancing, they feel compassion to everyone. They want to help everyone. That's the symptom of advancement. So, okay, we spend 2 hours on our own chanting, but the rest of the day, we're giving out Krishna consciousness. But without that 2 hours on our own, my spiritual mother, Japataka, she said that without that, let me say what he said in response to. Somebody said, should we focus on our chanting or our service? He said, if you don't chant, what's the question of service? You don't know. You won't be able to remember. How can you be out there in the world and talking to people and stuff if you haven't fully immersed your mind in the holy name for 2 hours that morning? You can't. There's no service because you can't remember Krishna. You're thinking about all the, everything else that goes on. So they definitely go together on the bhakti path. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the nice questions. You can, yes. We have a recent graduate from our Bhakti Shastri program here. She's
Preaching is chanting. Sharing the holy name is also japa. So that's your increased desire to chant. Just like he said, you can't preach if you don't chant, but preaching is part of japa. Isn't it? Prabhupada said that one time. You think this is not chanting?
It's chanting, but japa means quiet chanting on your own. So the word japa, but it is chanting. Of course, it's.
But in his in response to what Lucas said, it's like.
Yeah, it's not separate because
we're not bhajananandis, we're goshtianandis.
So hearing, chanting, remembering, those three primary processes, definitely. The chanting means all of that. Kirtana means broadcasting the name, all that. So yeah. But japa is a particular process.
Minimum 16 rounds. But your taste is increasing if you want to share it.
Yeah.
That's a symptom of our increasing taste for serving Krishna.
Yeah.
Well, what does he say at the end of the Gita? Who is most dear to him? So we're not actually pleasing him if we're not sharing it, because we're not dear to him then.
Yeah, it's integral to bhakti, is that we want to help others. Like Dhruva Maharaj, right? He's going back to Godhead on the ship. And he said, well, hang on a sec. What about my mother? What about that? What was that? Prahlad Maharaj also said something like that. He said, what is your problem? He said, for me, I have no problem to Nrsimhadev. He said, I have no problem because I'm thinking of you all the time, so what's the problem? But I worry about everybody else. I worry about all the others. So we see Vasudeva Datta, so many examples are there that the advancement is expressed by. One time they were driving with Prabhupada in Melbourne, and one devotee said, he was feeling a bit like young, and he was young and kind of enthusiastic, and he was like sitting there with Prabhupada, in the car and looking at everybody going to work and everything. Oh, they're so. And he made some comment to Prabhupada about that, oh my God, look at them wasting their life, like this kind of thing. And Prabhupada just he turned around and Prabhupada just had tears in his eyes. He said, so why don't you save them? Why don't you help them if that's it? So that's the, that's the measure of our advancement as well. If we're just trying it for our own liberation, then, as Bhavi said, it's not pleasing to Krishna. They're all his parts and parcels. And so, that's also, the two go together. Yeah. All right, thank you very much for coming for class. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
The whole meaning of sadhana is not just 16 rounds. It's actually attentive hearing.
Yeah, not mechanical.